Eternal Return JP! I did the first part of this situation on my other stream. Eternal Return Black Survival is a top-down survival MOBA battle royale game. That's a Korean game as well. And the way they handle controversies is special there sometimes. So there is a voice actress that was casted for this for the role of a character named Beyond. They were supposed to do the English voice. The name of this voice actress is Dovu, which many of you guys might know. However, after some antis, trolls, we're not sure where they come from, people have fished out a clip where Dovu on another account had made a joke, a boring joke, about a boar, because in the game there's a fucking boar that you gotta kill, and she made a pun saying it's boring. So they made this, they like astroturfed it, and they made this huge controversy about it, saying she was being disrespectful to the game, yada yada, until Nimble Neuron, which are the developers of the game, decided to drop her. Now, following that, they the Eternal Return, which had before that mostly positive reviews, even though it was a very niche game that always suffered from a lack of popularity and player base. They've been like trying to fix this for a year to no avail. Suddenly they're getting bombarded with mostly negatives review. Fired a solid VA over nonsense raised by a community of players that wouldn't even use the language actually voiced for. The game is good, but devs are beyond clueless and will bend over backwards and pander to their Korean audience and leave the rest of the world servers to rot. There was an actual potential growth moment for the game, and the studio managed to bungle an easy free win and grow their global player base, so we aren't limited to either finding matches with a certain time window or beating the snot out of new players and norms. Right, so this is clearly a player that's played a lot of this game. I can tell from just the way this is worded. To give you some context, Eternal Return is so unpopulated as a game. Like, it's really struggling from a lack of player base. So the English players always have to play between a certain time window between like the high hours. So after like 4 p.m. or you will literally sit in queue forever. I used to play this game. I kid you not, if I wanted to play earlier in the day, I had to queue up on Japanese servers or on Korean servers. Like, Koreans is like the division that's way more pandered to compared to the global audiences there. That VA is pretty popular, so they could have really used the influx of popularity for it. But Nimble Neuron decided to bend the knee to all like the worst people for the worst reason. They didn't really look into it, and now people are extremely angry. There's a 3,000 hour review below. This is beyond pathetic. I cannot speak for NA, but in EU, we are already struggling with a low player base. I am telling you, like, this game really struggles with the low player base. They always did. The voice acting choice was an amazing opportunity for more players to discover the game, but alas, the community that won't even use the English language got so butthurt over a mistranslated dad joke that in English language was harmless, that the VA got fired. The worst part is that they were so afraid of the backlash that they posted an explanation only on Japanese Twitter, ignoring completely the English-speaking community. So this is not even an issue where only the VA's fan base is upset now. It's like the core veteran English players or global audience of this game are also extremely mad about this. Extremely mad. They're like, this could have fixed most of the issue, and for them this is like a slap in the face because it makes them feel that Nimble Neuron doesn't care about them. Why is it such a big deal? Because currently we have around 200 to 300 players in the EU, give or take. High elo players play less and less because of how the AVG lobby system works. They are constantly paired with low diamond players that might have just hit the rank, not the fault of the players, but the low player base. Yes, so that's another issue. Because there's such a low player base, the discrepancy in rank is very wide within a certain lobby, and now they turned it into a team game. So let's say you are a highest ranking player, you might be paired with a diamond teammate, and your diamond teammate will get fucking farmed by the other teams like high elo player. Or it's going to be a very high elo player with two very low rank, And then the other team will have maybe a little bit less of a high elo player, but he'll have 2 other players that are also higher elo than the diamond, so that team will like win by default. Normal games are filled with the same people, so if there are 1 or 2 teams that are dominating every lobby, you'll find them again and again and again. This is true. I've experienced that too. Competitive scene is almost non-existent, with having 1 qualifier and 1 final per season. Scrims have started popping up recently, which was a good sign that things might be changing for the better. The player base is also like very close, and they do a lot of in-houses and stuff. They organize tournaments, or at least they used to, because they're very dedicated. Even like they are just keeping the game alive by the edge of their butts. Korea doing well meant the EU might be getting some breadcrumbs afterward, slowly approaching better numbers of the player base, but with the decision to fire the VA, developers showed that they do not give a single censored word about other servers, and they would rather listen to the community that won't even use the English voice acting. All of this is not going from the place of hatred, but genuine love for the game. I want this game to succeed, that's why this decision feels so insulting. Dear Nimble Neuron, do better. And I think this is the sentiment that's been going around. Like, even their Discord servers, we had some very high-ranked veterans in the stream last time. They were telling us how their community servers for Eternal Return, people were rioting, they were talking about it, the discussion was extremely heated. This isn't just a case of the VA fans being upset that she got fired. This is like a Nimble Neuron literally shooting themselves in the foot. And now what they've done, so they decided to address the situation. They released 1 post saying, "Notice regarding changes to the Beyond's English voice actress. As we usher in a new season, a time when we should be delivering enjoyable experiences to all of you, we deeply apologize from the bottom of our hearts for the significant worry and confusion caused in connection with the change to the English voice for the character Bi Young. We would like to explain Nimble Neuron's perspective on this matter, as well as our future operational policies." The saddest part is that the VA was a fan of the game and was happy to work for the game she likes. Yes, and as other people pointed out, there's been other streamers that were sponsored by Nimble Neuron that literally said on stream that they didn't enjoy playing the game. The game has a very high learning curve and it's very complicated for new players. You also get farmed, again, because you get put in lobbies with other veterans because there's such a low player base that it doesn't feel good. When it's your first time playing, it doesn't feel good. It's not usually like a great experience unless you like dying a lot. And yet the VA did a pretty good job with her sponsored stream. As a 3rd time Eternal Return player, oh my god, you're also an Eternal Return player, let's go! Returning to this game, it feels so sad. It's such a niche mobile game when released. I just don't want Riot Game buy, steal, and take inspiration from this. Returning to the game also feels like I have to relearn everything every single time. Although they did simplify the game a lot. I actually was thinking of playing it again, and then this VA thing happened, and I was like, never mind. I guess it's staying uninstalled for a bit longer. So let's see what Nimble Neuron, the devs, published. So they're saying, hello everybody, and keep in mind that they're still only tweeting from, for some reason, from the Eternal Return JP account. And I don't understand why. They've got way less followers on the Eternal GP than on the global one. Why not tweet this in English? Because it regards the English community, or the Korean one. But no, they decided to tweet it for JP. Why? So that's my first criticism. Hello everyone, my name is Song Mi Im. I'm the service director at Nimble Neuron. The start of the new season should be an exciting time for players. However, our decision regarding Bi Young's English voice actor led to concern and confusion instead. Today, we'd like to share Nimble Neuron's position on this issue, along with the steps will be taken to improve our service operations going forward. 1. Regarding the change to Bi Young's English voice. Bi Young's casting process was conducted through numerous blind test auditions, and we cased Dovu because we felt their strong performance best matched the character's direction and our vision. However, due to unexpected external circumstances, we decided to change Bi Young's English voice. We apologize to the players who were looking forward to hearing the English voice for Bi Young in the game with the release of the character. The characters of Eternal Return belong to the world of Lumia Island. While that world may reflect parts of reality, it's still a separate place with its own stories, characters, and experiences, and we have always considered it a core value to preserve Lumia Island as Eternal Return's own world. At the time, we were concerned that the discussion around the character could expand beyond the game in a way that might affect the player experience. Our decision was made with the goal in mind to separate and minimize discussion about topics outside the game. So they pretty much admit that they just really got cold feet because some people were finding it controversial and they thought it would take a much bigger amplitude at the time. So they kind of rushed and axed her. We were hasty with our judgment, and in trying to respond quickly to concerns, did not properly discuss or coordinate with the voice actor and everyone else involved. They could have at least taken the time to understand what was the joke. Was it harmless in English or not? Was it genuinely criticizing or being negative about the game? Or ask Dovu for what happened, but no, they just terminated the contract. As a result, our actions caused considerable harm to Dovu, our partners, and the players who had supported and anticipated this casting. We want to offer our sincere apologies to the voice actor for not providing enough information in a clear and proper process, as well as to our partners for the difficulties caused regarding the casting process. Going forward, we will strive to establish a more careful and responsible process so that this doesn't happen again. So they do apologize to her, which is a good thing, but they're not reversing the decision, which I guess I kind of understand. Like, they would piss off both sides at this time and it would be too wishy-washy to go back on the decision. It's like cooked anyway, but it's still kind of, there's still a remaining like bitter taste in our mouth following all of this. Going forward, we will handle our operation processes with greater care. Many of you have expressed discontentment for the delay of this notice following this incident, and we sincerely apologize for this as well. Learning from our hasty mistakes, we wanted to communicate properly with all parties involved rather than rushing into the next step without a proper conclusion. This is why our response took time to prepare. We have realized the need to be more careful and responsible in our service operations. Going forward, we're determined to take more responsibility in safeguarding a peaceful environment for both our players and collaborators. And internally, we will review our processes to avoid issues like this happening again. We'll also make a stronger effort to understand the context of each community, so issues between different communities will not be further exacerbated by the mistake on our side. We'll listen more closely to feedback and concerns shared by our players and apply them responsibly across our service operation. We understand the criticism you may have and the disappointment many of you feel cannot be resolved with this post alone, so we will carefully review the feedback you have shared, and we will do our best to rebuild your trust through our future actions and operation. It's the standard defense protocol. Don't bring in someone with baggage attached. It's a result of many similar controversies happening in the past all over the industry. Yeah, it's just very anti-controversy, even though the controversies are really silly sometimes. And I'm not sure I like it. As a service director, I will carry out our operational responsibility. I want to start by apologizing for the concern the situation has caused, and Eternal Return is enjoyed by players from many different communities. That makes it our responsibility to approach matters like this with care and consideration. In this case, our review and response fell short of that standard. As a result, we caused unnecessary stress for both the people involved and our player. I swear, this took more time than them reviewing the initial situation, which could have avoided all of that if they just took like a few minutes to actually look into what was happening before just axing the voice actor. And then so this was posted at 10:32 on May 17, and then just a few minutes after, they are giving away some coupons, but wait a minute, it's not related to the Dovu and the global audience missing a voice back, because basically there's a character that won't have a voice back, but it's because there's been some server issues. As we welcome the new season, instead of providing all players with a more enjoyable experience, we sincerely apologize from the bottom of our hearts for the inconvenience caused by various operational shortcomings, such as issues during the implementation of new characters and server problems. I don't know if they're grouping this in or what, or is it just tech issues, but currently we are organizing the various issues that arose during the season's operation and intend to swiftly implement improvements so that we can once again focus on the stable operation of Eternal Return and preps for the next content update. I mean, the devs just declared an internet war with different communities, but at the same time, it's kind of a big deal. Yet, with English ER long gone unless something happens, they are... I don't know if they're gonna get back the trust of the community that was already eroding. No rims in Korea, it's more like, don't anger the internet or they sink you. All the backlash from the foreign fans combined will do less harm than the core Korean internet going into frenzy. Bro, the Korean netizens are like insane, man. Why are they like that? Isn't there issues with games like Brown Dust? Korea is also the worst place for self-defense. You're much more likely to get arrested than your attacker. That's crazy. The climax of all of this is that Dovu actually responded. I've been in contact with the lead of business and we've been able to come to a conclusion despite how I have to let down those who are looking forward to my voice. I'm very sorry to let those fans down. The English edition and recording process itself was pleasant. Thank you to those who worked with me there. It is unfortunate how it turned out, and I hope other voice actors will not have to experience what I have. I recognize that I still have a lot of room to grow alongside the many veterans in this field. However, seeing the incredible support and encouragement from so many communities has inspired me to work even harder despite these unfortunate circumstances. I will use this energy to further my skills and do my best to live up to that support. Thank you. And Minton congratulates her. She says, thank you, Min. You've been so lovely throughout. Thank you for all you do. He's another voice actor. Then this person says, people who become virtual YouTubers or people who are really into watching them seems to lack social skills. Maybe they're not very intelligent. And Dovu says, one thing I must gently remind others as I see some of these comments crop up is that I've always been an English voice actor as Dovu and nothing else. As a result, it's difficult to understand the point you're trying to make when you are involving third parties. I hope that you don't have to talk badly of others. Wink. So Dovu is reminding people that she is only Dovu. Do you think she'll still have the possibility to voice another game made in Korea? I think so, Zippy Zap. Well, I hope so. Hopefully the Korean aunties don't follow her around. But she says at the end of her statement that she's gonna use this energy to further her skills and she's gonna keep on trying. Hey, you! Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button. And I'll see you in the next video.